So what happens when Daryl, who's only been farming for a few years, finds out his crop is mysteriously dying?
There came a disease. It came from nowhere, and nobody knew about it.
Folks, this is James Lafleur with The Impossible Channel. This is your future food. I want you to pay attention to this advertisement. This is just ridiculous. Pay attention to the man's gestures, postures. This is not the future, folks. This is not what social networks can do, right? When I read this first, the title, I was like, yeah, come on. This is the future. Social networks and agriculture, food. This is the future, folks. We got to think about our health. We got to think about uniting technology with what we do, what we love. We love eating food. Everyone loves eating food. You love eating food. You have to eat something. You have to drink water, whatever. But that water cannot be contaminated. That food cannot be contaminated. And when I watched this advertisement, I'm going to play this advertisement. Please do leave a comment. Share this right away because this is your food. This is my food. Pay attention to what they're going to say. I'm going to play just a little bit.
With this.
Use of the cell phones so we can double the productivity throughout Africa is absolutely critical.
Okay, so you saw phone and Bill Gates, right? That could be good. Like a crop, a phone, and Bill Gates. What else could come out of this? If you had Bill Gates and a crop and a phone, have a son or a daughter, what could it be, right? Let's just watch.
70% of the world's food comes from small isolated farms that are on average only 2 acres, like Daryl's farm in Kenya. If farmers like Daryl didn't produce food, the world wouldn't eat.
Well, there you go, folks. People like Daryl need something to produce their food or else you won't eat. Let's check it out. What is it? What is it that Daryl needs that he didn't need in the past, that his family didn't need in the past, that we've been eating healthy food till now? What is it?
You don't know the way.
Yes, I
Do you know the way? You don't know the way. Do you know the way?
Now, what is it that we need that we didn't need in the past that is going to change our lives? Let's just watch.
So what happens when Daryl, who's only been farming for a few years, finds out his crop is mysteriously dying?
There came a disease. It came from nowhere, and nobody knew about it.
Okay, so a disease came. It came out of nowhere. For a moment there, I thought this was gonna, like he was gonna talk about demons and stuff, like, oh my gosh. But he didn't. And then, before, I thought he was gonna say chemtrails. And I was like, yeah, chemtrails. I knew it. For just an instant there, I thought maybe that sulfuric acid, shrouding the world with sulfuric acid.
A little book here called A Case for Climate Engineering. They're saying that the planet is warming up. You don't believe that, do you?
I totally believe it. Is that you could actually spray sulfuric acid in the stratosphere 20 kilometers over our head and use that to stop the planet warming up. And
I thought that maybe that would be damaging the crops. But, let's just see what he's going to say. Because he's a farmer, remember. He doesn't know where this mysterious disease came from. And you would imagine, like he being a farmer, worms, diseases that are very common in the agriculture world. He should know about that. But maybe he wouldn't know about chemtrails. Maybe he wouldn't know about demons. Maybe he would call those things mysterious. Let's see what he's calling mysterious. And not only that, he says that no one around knew about it.
That's where an emerging social network that connects rural farmers with no internet access comes in. WeFarm, a London-based startup that's recently raised $1.6 million in seed funding, works on a simple premise. Have a problem? Send a text that goes out to 120,000 other farmers and crowdsource the answer.
Now that is a cool idea, connecting people through the internet to help each other find out where diseases are coming from and all that. That's very cool, that's very nice. Unless, let's watch.
That's exactly what Daryl did when worms got into his tomato crop.
Well, so now she just said it. Worms. Worms got into his tomato crop. That was the mysterious problem that he didn't know as a farmer and the people around him didn't know as farmers too.
There came a disease. It came from nowhere and nobody knew about it. There came a disease. It came from nowhere and nobody knew about it.
Are you buying into this advertisement?
It came from nowhere and nobody knew about it. It came from nowhere and nobody knew about it.
That's where I totally stopped buying. And now they're gonna make Daryl, I believe, say that the answer came from God.
Luckily, whoever got that question, it is like God who worked there. He gave an answer as if he was in my mind.
The solution? A pesticide that killed the worms and saved his tomatoes.
Now this is where I almost threw up. They slowed-mo him throwing the pesticides into the tomato, and I was thinking about the soil, the health, and the fact that he was not using any kind of protectors while throwing that pesticide in the tomatoes, right? So this is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, yeah, Daryl, what are you doing? You're not using a mask, you're not using glasses, your gloves, you're like, yeah, literally throwing the pesticide there. Really? So this was a big first mistake of this small advertisement here. Like, they're trying to push an agenda. They forgot to make him use protectors. This is kind of necessary. I wouldn't say it's illegal not to use protectors, but I mean, like, it's necessary to use protectors while you're using pesticides. Pesticides are very dangerous. I'm not even gonna go into pesticides being dangerous, but they are. They kill insects, they kill everything around them. They're not to make anything live, they're here to kill. So throwing pesticides in food is an option, supposedly.
At its roots, farming is about generational knowledge. Your mom was a farmer and her dad was a farmer and so on.
So your dad was a farmer, your mom was a farmer, and you didn't know that your tomatoes had worms. Are you serious? Let's continue.
Now, these farmers have a global community to lean on.
Our first function is to connect all the farmers and ensure that they're able to tap into this generational knowledge.
Now, of course, this is very nice. Sharing information, being together, bringing communities together, right? But when you look at the video, there's something wrong. They're bringing technology into a place that barely has any air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat. And then when you look at the end game of the video, pesticides. You know, they're giving them pesticides.
The wins that they get on a day-to-day basis.
Basically, the more successful the farmer, the more land he can buy, and the more crops he can grow for the world.
The farming, it's in my blood.
Folks, I just want you to leave a comment. What do you think about all this advertisement in general? I know that in big productions, usually people do use pesticides. It's common, right? But I want you to leave a comment. Do you think that Daryl here didn't know it was worms, being that he's from a farmer family, right? Do you think that by any chance this advertisement could have been a paid advertisement to bring an agenda forward? The pesticide agenda. This is serious, folks. Think about chemtrails. They're using chemtrails a lot lately, and that is indeed sulfuric acid. They say that this sulfuric acid will damage our health and plants. So,
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we do?
So the other thing is horrifying. It is that you could actually spray sulfuric acid in the stratosphere 20 kilometers over our head and use that to stop the planet warming up in a kind of ugly tech fix.
You can spray something into the atmosphere to change. Okay,
spray pollution into the atmosphere to stop it warming.
do you think that by any chance Daryl was actually referring to chemtrails? And then they sold a solution to Daryl, which is pesticides.
The productivity throughout Africa is absolutely critical.
That actually isn't gonna solve his problem, but he might think it is, right? And then, when it doesn't, he will use the social network once again. And they will sell him another solution. And he will keep on using that social network forever, thinking that it's God.
It is like God.
It's the solution for all his problems, while The problem is actually up there, in the chemtrails. I don't know, folks, this is just my thought. What's yours? Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you again.